ain't no half stepping with Marcus. You can say what you want. When you get to that number,
your ass is gonna be right there.
When you get to the number,
nothing.
Nah, you can say that all you want. We still fighting over the last segment.
That's why I said more bad words.
You still talking junk.
It's hot up
gonna go nowhere. It doesn't matter.
Damn it! Hey, look, man.
It doesn't matter.
A real man knows the woman
knows better than that goofy statement.
Whatever. A real man knows the woman that he's with, and he knows the number. And
he can know it.
And so he got a choice. He can either deal with it, or he can try to assist with her getting. Because the reality is,
honey, by the way, you're getting fat.
Here's the reality. Here's the reality. Every single woman and man, more so women, but every single person who is more, has more weight than they want to have is aware of it, and in their mind they're trying to work towards getting to a place where they're more comfortable.
Yep.
Okay. And so
Preach.
why there's a problem with the person on the outside being aware of that and wanting to work towards it, that to me is being extra self-conscious. And when you're in a relationship with someone who sees your ass naked every day, ain't no place for being self-conscious. You be self-conscious, that's a you
Marcus, do you think
problem.
I'm fat?
I don't think you, PHAT or FAT?
No, FAT.
No, I don't think you fat.
So what if I gain 20 pounds?
I would think you're fat.
I like that. So
20 pounds.
So would you rather your man lie to you and say, "Nah, baby, you still look good," when he's in his mind? I don't know if our bed can hold us.
William, it's a discussion we're gonna have.
I'm just not about saying the whole politically correct thing to help people's feelings.
No, I don't want you to ever lie. I don't want you to ever lie.
If you ask me, I'm that guy. If you don't ask me if the dress looks nice, don't ask me if the jeans make your ass look fat. Don't ask me if I like those shoes. Unless you want, I hate those shoes. I'm just sorry. I think every single person needs to know the answer to that question. Now, I answered the question directly and meanly to mess with you. I don't look at you in a way where I would know what 20 pounds or where you put it. Where it depends on where you put it. And that goes for every single person.
Yeah,
it's in my stomach.
If you put if you put 20 pounds right where your hands are right now, because you're my sister, I'm not really looking at you like that. But yeah, I would be like, damn, you see, that's why she should have gained some weight around about the.
Yo, is she pregnant? I mean,
I think she looking like the Michelin Man.
so I can count on you to say, oh, you gaining weight?
Yeah.
Right.
See, he may ask that question.
Yeah.
I would never ask that question.
You can count on me to be like, are you pregnant? Yeah, I'm that guy. Like,
and I'll be like, do you know how old I am?
You can just punch me in the face.
So what? You trying to say please, girl?
I'm just saying. Look at me. I am in the interest of full disclosure. I am 5'4". I weigh 150 pounds soaking wet with the boots on and a helmet. Okay, and if I gained 20 pounds, it would be noticeable, and people would say to me, "Damn, what's up, Marcus J? He looking like, he's had Buffalo Wild Wings too many times in a row."
How much do you think I weigh?
You know what?
We're not talking about that.
No.
I'm
talking to you.
Look, that's that left exit. That got the dead end on.
Who is supposed to tell me the truth?
Do we really have to do this on air?
I don't
I don't care.
She wants me to tell her. I'll tell her. And if I'm wrong, then I'm just wrong.
Let's get ready to.
No, there's no wrong.
Like,
I'm asking you who is supposed to tell me the truth.
I would put you at 180 pounds, give or take 5.
Very good. I'm like 190. Very good. I'm about 90.
So yeah, if you gain those 20 pounds,
yeah, I'm taking you to the state.
If I gain 20 pounds, I think I'm fat. But I was asking him. I think I'm fat now.
And I said give or take 5, and I was off by 5. I don't think that's a bad thing. I did work in a hosiery store as a 14-year-old.
Yes, we don't want to go back there.
I worked in a hosiery store, and I was a 14-year-old who was left alone in the store who sold bras to grown women. And so I think that I have a pretty good idea of women's shapes and stuff like that. And so when I say what I say, I'm speaking from an area of intelligence. I'm not talking crap here. I know what I'm talking about. And I missed a sister by 5 pounds. So it is what it is. Ain't no ass step with Marcus J. We're gonna end the show with our rants.
Yeah. And
then our closings. We're gonna start with JR. JR, you got some final words, my brother? What you got, man?
Man, no big rants. Been working on a little segment at Your Advice here. And I think I got some ideas, so look for that coming soon. My big thing today is...
Am I fat?
Nah, I'm not fat. I'm fat. Like, I need to get back at mine. But my big thing today is with Big Rube and his segment about bullying. Protect your kids, defend your kids, give your kids the tools to defend themselves. Because in this day and age, you don't just have to worry about them outside playing basketball and the neighborhood bully coming up. This ain't the Fresh Prince. You know, you got the social media. You got people, you know, sending them text messages. You got people in their ear all kinds of ways. And this is a 24-hour thing. You think your kid's in the bed sleep, then under the covers, on the phone, on the internet, watch your kids arm them. And that's it.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We're going to keep it moving. We got S.Y. Butler. It's going to end the show with her rant. What you got, girl?
Well, you know, I just want to thank our listeners tonight. I want to say happy birthday to my nephew, Christopher. He is 20 years old today. Happy birthday, New. I know I wasn't going to say it, but I said it. My baby's birthday is tomorrow. Happy pre-birthday, Kyra. She's going to be 18. And I didn't hear anything from my daughter tonight, Kaz, but I know you're probably listening on the DL, but thanks. She's always supporting me. I love you, Mommy. You know, last thing, kisses, Will. Talk to you guys later. Thanks again to all the listeners. And we had a good show tonight, even though I'm fat. It's fine.
You know,
it is what it
is.
is.
Like being fat.
Hey.
Lose weight.
I'm going to do
Ain't no
something
half
about it.
stepping with Marcus J. We're going to end the show with Big
I don't
Rube.
like him.
And Big Rube always
No.
likes to do what he likes to call smash. And Big Rube, smashing, brother.
Big Rube, the smash. I would like to say that, first of all, it's been, including the summer, it's been about 4 or 5 months since I've talked about Chris Brown. I'm trying to keep that record going. And it's not going to end tonight. However, maybe somebody else who's taking his place, because this is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I understand why he says stupid things, but some people need to talk to him. So, you know, I'm reading this article today, and Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith is the son of Will and Jada. I thought it was Will and that other woman, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the older dude.
Yeah, it's Will and that other woman, correct? I guess she might have adopted him. I don't know.
No. Jaden is her son.
Is
But
Jaden her son?
he has an older son with the other two.
Oh, we don't know about that guy.
Trey is the older one.
Trey, that's his name.
Ah, he must not be in the spotlight. But that's beside the point. So, oh boy, went on Twitter because, you know, Twitter is the end all be all about getting information out. I mean, emails, what's an email? It's all about Twitter. So, he says, quote, if everyone dropped out of school, society would be more intelligent. Yeah. I understand you don't like school because you're 15 and stuff. I get it. I understand your girlfriend is Kylie Jenner. I get it. Which is another interesting thing. But that's a different rant. You know, he pretty much, people used to ask me, what do you want to be when you get older? And I would say, I would say, what a stupid question. The real question is what I am right now. Yeah. All the rules in this world were made by someone no smarter than you, so make your own. I thought that was a really good point because that's part of it. Here's the stupidity. School is a tool to brainwash the youth. Education is rebellion. If newborn babies could speak, they would be the most intelligent beings on planet Earth. What in the hell is wrong with this kid?
He spent too much time with Mountain Big Karate Kid.
You know, well, let me finish it. Let me finish it because it's unfair if I say all that. Whatever. First, and also he declared, you know, if everybody in the world dropped out of school, we will have a much more intelligent society. Everybody get off your phones and go do what you actually want to do. Now, I'm a fan of everybody get off your phones and do what you want to do to a point. You know, however, that's the conversation of a 15-year-old unintelligent kid. You know, I get it. You know, you make movies with your parents and yada yada yada, and you got a lot of money and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying school is the end all be all. It's not going to make you the smartest person in the world. But if you ask this kid about what is the law of anything in physics, I would say law of relativity, but that doesn't sound right. The theory of relativity, he'd probably say Cheetos or something. There is a purpose for school. Now, our purpose for school is to become semi-intelligent, but the bigger purpose for school, I believe, is while you learn intelligence, is to get your social skills up and going. You know, hence why these children go to Twitter, or the rich kids go to Twitter and talk, because they don't know how to pick up a phone or anything, talk to anybody. Makes no sense. Now, I feel bad for Will and Jada. I feel bad. The reason why I feel bad is because I bet Will Smith looked at this and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? You know, and they support their kids and stuff like that and yada, yada, yada. And then later on in the arc, they talk about Willow probably getting emancipated before Jaden because Jaden is scared of society. Wait a minute. Oh, because you don't go to school. You get home trained. So you don't know social skills or social cues or anything like that. I'm not saying high school or public school, even private school is the greatest place on earth. But to say that if everybody dropped out of school, the place would run better, I mean, it's fairly stupid. Now, they have a lot of people like that who dropped out of school and like they don't do anything. You know, I'm not calling out part of the South. I'm just saying that there's some people down there who are like that, who don't go to school and they didn't learn anything and they do what they want because they don't have a job or skills or whatever. But that's beside my point. I think, unfortunately, this is just speakings of a child who has been protected, a child who has seen the world through eyes that most children, about 90% children, don't get to see. And I feel like his thoughts are, pardon the pun, are a little jaded. You know, it's one of those things where I feel bad once again for Will Smith. I feel like he needs to sit his son down and be like, you know, kid, if you grew up when I grew up, you would not be a good idea. You know, maybe, and I didn't know they actually had a school. Him and Will and Jada had a school, but it shut down last June, which is another interesting part because your parents created a school, but you think school is bad. But your parents I don't know. I'm not saying they need to slap this kid. I'm just saying you need to throw him in West Philly, you know, born and raised, so he can spend most of his days there for a year, see how it goes up. You know, maybe he might learn some social skills and, you know, he might meet some new friends or something like that. You know, he's got way too much dice in the mirror. But, you know, it's Big Rube. It's a smash. Somebody need to educate these kids, y'all, because I can't do it. I'm out.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Big Rube always makes me laugh with his rants because most of the time I agree with him, and tonight is no different, so we appreciate it. I want to go through my thank yous. Thank you, SY, for being here, being a good sport, being the only lady in the building. Sometimes I realize how that can be tough. You're a good sport.
It's fine.
And we appreciated the tips segment that we had in the wealthy segment, so great job tonight on your part. We appreciate it. Again, being a good sport, being the only lady in the room and kind of fending off the fellas. So we appreciate it and we love you for it. JR, good to see you, brother. Glad to have you back in the building. You know, good to see you. We're going to be having JR here with us on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J every first and third Monday. So we are looking forward to having him, you know, when we can have him. We got Big Rube here. That's my brother, my partner, my friend, my co-founder and co-owner here of Legacy Internet Radio. He don't like when I say it, but I don't care because I just don't care. Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J. Big Rube. Thank you so much, my brother. Next week, we got the Diva Diaries with the Dating Pool Diva here in the building, so we're looking forward to that. My thank yous to K-Dub for hitting me up. He had a couple of comments I didn't get to, but K-Dub is always here on the show, whether he is on the air with us or not. We still have his presence with us. My oldest friend from 3 and 2 years old, so I got to give him some love. We got Simone, my homegirl in Jersey City. We got my brother Sid. What up, bruh? We got Tony, who joins us here on the second Monday here on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J, who joined us here in social media, as well as Joy and a whole host of people in social media who was hitting us up. Some comments we weren't able to get to, but we know you listen to us on MixLR and TuneIn. TuneIn is a great partner that we were able to partner up with, so we're glad to have you there. Thank you so much for that love. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. So it's time for me to kind of move on and do my rants and do my closing. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of do that. I know a lot of people who were listening to us tonight noticed that the musical theme tonight was the music of one Tupac Amaru Shakur. Misogynistic, gangster, thug, revolutionary, intellectual, hypocritical. Those are just a few of the words of the very accurate words to describe our brother Tupac Amaru Shakur, who we lost to violence on Friday, September 13, 1996. If you listen to Did They Just Play That, the music only show here on Legacy Internet Radio, you know that we celebrated him last Thursday and Saturday. In the days and weeks and months and years since his death, I've debated many on his influence, his impact, and frankly, we kind of give a damn about this dude. We touted him as the thug life guy, and that's what he touted himself as his mantra. So I want to talk a little bit about him tonight. I always maintain that his impact was far more than gangster rapper. I remember the tabloid posts and bylines that I saw in the immediate aftermath of his death that said, "Gangster rapper dead. Thug life leads to violent death." And sadly, those bylines are accurate, but our brother Pac was so much more than that. The same man that penned "Hit 'Em Up" against all odds also penned "Changes" and "Dear Mama" and "Keep Your Head Up." And that's where the hypocritical nature of Tupac Amaru Shakur takes hold of those who didn't study him, that didn't know him. The man that penned "Changes" and "Dear Mama" and "Keep Your Head Up" was the same man who received a letter from a fan named Kia Chanel. She wrote a letter to his fan club about how much she loved his music. At the end of the letter, she joked about how if he ever read the letter, to please take her to the prom since her boyfriend had just broken up with her. About a month later, there was a knock at her door, and it was Tupac. He was there all by himself, no reporters, no homies, just Pac standing at her doorstep. He rapped to her and her family, bought her a dress, and when the prom day came along, he called her and said to be ready. A limo showed up with Pac in it and went straight to her prom. But that was him. That's how he rolled. The man who lamented the impact of single parenthood and Brenda's Got a Baby and looked for love and do for love. It upsets me when folks choose to see the negative, more boisterous sides of our brother Pac. We know he wilded out. There's no question there. We know he invited controversy and drama and hate. Hell, that's probably what got him killed. But when I find myself in debates with folks who never gave him a second thought, it frustrates me because I'm thinking, how you going to hate on a cat you ain't even try to know? I had this debate with a brother recently. He said that he could never support Tupac because of his public persona and his thug life image. And I asked the brother, if you believed in God? He said, yeah. I asked the brother, I said, you believe in forgiveness? He said, yeah. Then I asked him if he believed in redemption. He also said that he did. So I asked him, if you believed in all of those things and you believed in deity, I asked him, why couldn't you believe that a man murdered at 25 years old, who was obviously so conflicted, why couldn't you believe that this same man could make the conversion and sustain positivity? I ain't get no response. And that was what I've gotten used to when I supported our brother Tupac Amaru Shakur since that day in September of 1996. He was infuriating, but he was also inspiring. He drove me crazy, and I loved him as if I knew him personally because he represented a part of all of us that some of us choose not to acknowledge. The Gen X brother, who was the child of the Black Panther movement, a child of the Civil Rights movement, and the child of our community. Listen to him talk. Beyond his hip-hop recordings, listen to his YouTube recordings where he spoke freely. He spoke of black empowerment. He spoke of black people coming together against the masses and looking for us to find our place in this world by any means necessary. And while I don't necessarily recall him using that phrase, my interpretation of his message leads me to believe that that's how he felt. So again, You spent all your time listening to the last 2 years of his life, which was where most of that crap was. You may miss out. But if you listen to his early recordings, even listen to some of the interviews he did while he was in prison, you might get a window into the mind of the man that was far more than thug life, but ultimately and sadly, very, very conflicted. Many of our black men don't have the chance to fully flesh out their thoughts and their ideals and their ideas. And Tupac Amaru Shakur was one of them. I'll defend him to my end because I got it. And I got him. He reminds me of another black man who was conflicted by nonsense and bullshit, and whose early life was littered with incidents of impropriety and violence and inappropriate behavior. This black man went to prison and rehabilitated himself in his early and mid-20s, and by the time he was released from prison in his late 20s, he became the face of the Black Power movement. That man, of course, is Malcolm X, and we know that Tupac's mother was a follower of that movement, teaching her son the doctrine. I just wish we had a chance to see Tupac Amaru Shakur reach his late 20s just to see what he may have done with his chance to live. Just live. So I say continue to rest peacefully, Pac. Some of us will hold you down until after forever. That's the Marcus's unrelated rant that ain't got nothing to do with what we in here talking about tonight. That's the end of the show. Real quick, want to run down the list. Legacy Internet Radio, Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J every Monday from 7 to 9:30. And Live in Radio with Mr. Sincere, Mr. LP on Tuesday, 7 to 9. The Green Room with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P on Wednesdays, 7 to 9. Did they just play that? The Music Only Show with yours truly from 7 to 9 on Thursday. Replaying this show Fridays from 7 to 9:30. Preceded by a Bob Marley and Marley Family music mix from 6 until 7. All day on Saturday, we got music. Replaying Did They Just Play That up until the 7 p.m. Deep House Sessions with your girl, DJ Renee Melendez from 7 to 9 on Saturday nights. Legacy Internet Radio, definitely looking forward to continued growth. I also want to say independence is the key to building your legacy. And I want to say peace to all the stars and all of the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J. Gonna be back here, right here, next week. Peace.